All right. Hey, Fit Force. Welcome to our elite call with Jeremy Redd. And I think I gave everybody a little bit of information in the Google Drive and in our team page about Jeremy and exactly what this call is about. Everybody who's here knows what this is about, and that we are going to be discussing what it takes to become elite, and just kind of giving everybody a little boost in the right direction and a little push to get you moving. So Jeremy is the executive director for Team Beachbody, and I know Jeremy. I was introduced to him my first year at Summit by Brandy Botts when I was invited down onto the elite floor. I didn't even know what elite was until that day. And I met Jeremy, and he was awesome, and I've loved him ever since, and he's been such a good friend to me and a great mentor. He works with 15-star diamond coaches and above, and just has a lot of great advice and knowledge and experience to give us, and I'm really excited. Jeremy knows his stuff, and you guys, this is extra, extra special, and I've told you that before. He's taking time out of his day to speak to us and to really help us grow our businesses and make this year amazing, and to turn all of us into elite coaches for 2015. So I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy and let him talk. And please get out your pens and papers and start taking notes and listen to every single thing that he has to say and really take it in. So thanks, Jeremy. It's all you.
All right. Thank you so much, Lauren. So before we start, though, you guys need to unmute your phones real quick. Because we had something pretty special and pretty cool take place today that I want to celebrate. So Lauren just advanced to 6-star diamond, and it's official. So everybody can give her a round of applause.
Yay! Yay! Thank you.
That's a big deal, a big accomplishment, and it's been fun to kind of watch her grow and to watch her leadership, expand, and her influence expand. And man alive, she kind of shared with me who was on this call, and you guys are not far behind by all means. You've got started off on the right foot, and some great things are going on in each one of your individual businesses. And I tell you what, I love where we're at as a company. We've got incredible products. We've got incredible coaches. Obviously I'm biased, but the corporate team is full of incredibly talented individuals that are very successful, really top in class, so to speak, in terms of their individual roles and responsibilities. And I think you just put all of this together, and it creates an awesome environment where we're making a big time difference and a serious impact in a very powerful way in the United States, and it's fun to be a part of. So company's growing like crazy. It's fun to kind of recognize Lauren and congratulate her for growing. And you guys, everybody on this call, you guys are having great success. So keep up the great work. There's power behind, consistency in the right areas and working smart. And, the sky's the limit if you're willing to kind of sacrifice and do those things. So part of this call today is going to be basically just helping you guys understand what can be a very complicated thing that we call elite. But I want to try to just make it, again, very basic, very simple, very easy to understand. And then what I would love to do is on the second Friday of every single month, you're going to get an email from us with some numbers that may be a little might be right now be viewed as if they were in Spanish or Chinese, but I want to try to really make it very simple and very basic for you, so that when you get that report the second Friday of every month, you know where the numbers are coming from. You can then kind of look at the numbers. You can understand if you're ahead of pace or behind pace, and then you can also go back to your strategy and some of the things that we talk about on this call and really start to understand, okay, how do I influence that? And what are the levers that I can immediately pull to drive results and to have success in the individual categories of elite? So everything that we talk about today really is going to probably come in threes. So we'll make it simple. We're going to basically divide the call up into three sections. We're going to talk about, okay, what it takes, to be elite in terms of the requirements. Once we talk about that, we're going to talk a little bit about how we earn points in each one of the three categories. And then we're also going to talk about strategy and how to influence each one of the three categories. So that'll be kind of the three sections of this call that we kind of work through. And then, Lauren, if we want to, we can set aside time at the end to kind of do a quick little Q&A and help answer questions on things that maybe I didn't explain well enough, which often happens. So let's start off first. In terms of qualifications to be an elite coach in 2015, what has to fall into place? So again, three sections of this call, but the three things that have to fall into place on December 30th of 2015, three easy things. You have to have above 135 points, number one. Number two, you have to be a paid 5-star diamond or above. And then number three, you have to have developed 2 brand new diamonds from this year. Doesn't matter when they enroll. They could have enrolled in 1990 if you wanted to, but they just have to be brand new from this year. And they also have to be paid on December 30th. So it's kind of important to realize that in terms of elite, you may have had an awesome track record January through December 15th and have done everything that you were supposed to do. But put a little pressure on yourself and realize that, hey, we're going to, as a company, take a quick snapshot on December 30th. And for example, we're going to say, okay, Adrian, on December 30th, did she have 135 points or more? Yes or no? Was she a paid 5-star diamond or above? Yes or no? And then the last thing, did she develop 2 new personally sponsored diamonds? And if the answer is yes to all 3 of those things, then we're going to clap our hands and we're going to celebrate and congratulate her on December 30th for being a 2015 elite coach. Obviously, what does that mean? What are the perks? All of that fun stuff. I won't waste your time with that right now. You can go to the FAQ 2015 to kind of read some of the rewards, recognition updates. And it can kind of let you know some of the nice perks that we do at our events in terms of registration, in terms of summit, leadership, in terms of bonus payouts. I mean, all those fun things that are great little extra, things, both with recognition and reward that might be a little extra incentive for you to be an elite coach. But just keep in mind, qualifications, those 3 things, 135 points, 5-star and above, and then 2 personally sponsored diamonds, snapshot on December 30th. And if you can answer yes to all 3 of those things, congratulations, you're an elite coach. So let's talk a little bit about this email. You get this email the second Friday of every single month. So right now it is April 2nd. This elite email is going to come out on April 10th. That elite email is going to be sectioned into 3 categories. You're going to see the ATV category, you're going to see the PV category, and you're going to see a Success Club category. And you're going to see points in each one of those 3 areas. Right now, that may be kind of strange, may not mean anything to you, but I want to make sure that this call adds a ton of value and adds a ton of reason so that when you get that email on the 10th, you know exactly where those numbers are coming from. You can probably even guess what those numbers are going to be and have a lot more strategic approach behind, receiving that email and then understanding what you need to do to continue to push yourself in the right direction to be able to be an elite coach in 2015. So 3 categories. I'm going to list these categories in order of priority, just so you guys know. Again, elite can be very complicated. You can spread yourself too thin, worrying about moving points in all 3 categories. But I would encourage you, even though there's 3 categories, the very first category that I talk about, that is where you could spend 100% of your time, attention, and energy and have complete confidence that if I just influence category 1, everything that I need for category 2 and category 3 is going to fall into place for me. Again, this call, I think sometimes the numbers and the complexity, if you allow it, sometimes paralyzes you. And I like to keep things very basic and very simple because instead of paralyzing you, I want to empower you and help you understand, hey, if I can digest all 3 categories and have strategies behind all 3 categories, great. But you know what? If I want to take a more simplistic approach, Jeremy listed those categories in order of most important to least important. And heck, all I have to do is focus on category 1 and have the trust and the faith that as I drive results in that first category, everything else is going to take care of itself. So let's talk a little bit about the three categories. The number one category, the most important category, is your Success Club category, okay? So maybe on a sheet of paper, maybe just section it off into three different categories. Left category is your Success Club category. The next category is your PV category. And then obviously the last category is the ATV category. But remember that they're listed most important to least important. So the very most important thing that you can focus on is your Success Club category. Number two, next level of importance is your PV category. And then the last category is your ATV category. So let's talk a little bit about some important things in each one of the categories. When you guys hear SC category, keep in mind that the coaches that fall into that category are coaches that are enrolled in the current year and the previous year. So we're looking at 2 years for that category. Next year, fast forward next year, pretend like it's 2016, we're going to be looking at coaches that enrolled in 2016 and 2015. So it's super important that when you remember SC category, just remember, hey, we're looking at a 2-year window, and it's coaches that were enrolled in the current year and the previous year. Another important thing to remember about that category is there's a cap at 61. Not super important, but just remember that, hey, you may quickly do the right activities and you may cap that out quickly. Doesn't really matter because, again, if you just focus on category 1, everything else falls into place, okay? And then let's just talk a little bit about how I earn points in this category, okay? So for every time you have a personally sponsored coach from the current year or the previous year that hits Success Club 5, we're going to give you 1 point, okay? Now, if you go out and lead by example, and if you're being an incredible leader and you're also hitting Success Club 5 yourself, then we're going to basically double those points. So, for example, let's pretend like Lauren, in the month of April, went out and had 10 coaches that were personally sponsored from the current year and the previous year hit Success Club 5, but she chose not to hit Success Club 5 herself, then we would give her 10 points in the Success Club category. If she chose to go out and also hit Success Club herself, in addition to her 10 personally sponsored coaches, then we'd basically take those 10 and we'd double it and we'd give her 20 points for that category, okay? So pretty simple, pretty basic. For every personally sponsored coach from the current year or the previous year that hits Success Club 5, we give you 1 point, but if you also go out and do it yourself, we're going to double that up. And so this category, you probably want to circle it, maybe color it, put some stars by it, bling it all out, because just remember, this category is your most important category. As you have success in this category, and as we move month to month throughout the year, and as you influence this category and grow this base of coaches that are consistently hitting Success Club 5, you're going to win in a big-time way. And regardless of what your goals are with Beachbody, if your goals are income goals, if your goals are rank goals, if you like recognition, if you like helping others, regardless of what your goals are, as you grow this base and increase your base of Success Club 5 coaches, you're going to win and you're going to have success in regardless of what your goals are in the business, okay? So that's pretty much everything about Success Club category. So we talked about what coaches are involved in helping you earn points in this category. We talked about how to earn points in this category. And we also kind of reminded you, again, not that important, but there is a cap at 61, okay? So then let's gravitate to kind of the second most important thing. But again, there's a big, huge gap between 1 and 2 and 3. So number 1 is so important. I think there's a little bit of value in the PV category and a little bit of value in the ATV category. But man, if all you ever wanted to do is focus on your Success Club category and growing your base of Success Club 5 coaches, you would win with Elite very quickly. So number 2 category is the PV category. One thing that's important to understand about this category is we're only looking at coaches from the current year. So for example, this year with Elite, we're only looking at coaches that are enrolled in 2015, that you personally sponsored in 2015. Again, the caps, just the same as your Success Club category. You're capped at 61 points in this category. How you earn points in this. For every 500 in volume produced, we give you 1 point. So just remember, it's 500 to 1, okay? Now, for example, what if Adrian went out and produced 200 herself? What if Tom went out and produced another 200? And then what if Lauren went out and produced 100? This 500 is cumulative. So if you take all of your coaches from 2015 and put them in a bucket and then added in all the volume that they created, we're going to take all of that volume, we're going to divide it by 500, and we're going to give you that points. So for example, it doesn't matter if Adrian went out and only produced 200 in volume and didn't get to 500. That doesn't matter. That isn't like you just got 0 points. It's taking all of your 2015 putting them into a bucket, dividing it by 500, and we give you 1 for every volume. And Lisa, can we have you mute? Oh, you just did. Thank you. Okay, perfect. I was hearing myself twice, and I have a hard enough time talking when I hear myself once, let alone hearing myself twice. So thank you. So for the PV category, we talked about how to earn points. We're only looking at coaches from the current year. 500 equals 1 point, and we talked about the caps. Okay. Now the ATV category is a little bit decent or a little bit different. Sorry. The ATV category basically includes your first 3 generations of your business, and it's basically the volume produced, out of those 3 generations. How you earn points is we basically look at, okay, where did Lisa end 2014? And as soon as she grows her business above where she ended last year, we start to give her points. So basically for every 10,000 in volume that she produces in this category with her first 3 generations, we give her 1 point. But it has to be incremental to where you ended your last year, okay? An important thing, too, to kind of realize, if the Success Club category is capped at 61, if your PV category is capped at 61, you add those 2 together, equals 122, and you minus that from the 135 that's required. Again, that's one of your requirements, to have 135 points, elite points accrued to be able to be an elite coach. If we minus that 122 from the 135, you're left with 13 points. And so that means you have to, at the bare minimum, get at least 13 points out of the ATV category. The only reason I say that, and probably the only person on this call that would even have to entertain that for just 2 seconds, is maybe Lauren, but probably not even Lauren. These are for coaches. The ATV category is probably a little bit more difficult for coaches that have been around for, like 6, 7, 8 years, and they've got this just such a big, huge base of, ATV volume, so to speak, or team volume. That, those 13 points sometimes are tough, and we threw a little kicker in there, but I'm not going to waste your time with it. I'm not even going to try to confuse you with it. I just want you to realize that if there's a cap at 61 with Success Club category, if there's a cap at 61 with the PV category, that leaves us outstanding with basically 13 points left to make sure that we at least get 13 points out of that ATV category in order to be an elite coach, okay? And just a reminder that every 10,000 in volume that you grow over the previous year, we're going to give you 1 point, okay? So let's talk now about strategy. How do I influence my points in each one of these 3 categories? Success Club category, pretty simple, pretty basic. I would, as a leader on this call, I would start to recognize in a big-time way your coaches that are hitting Success Club 5. And I would have fun with it. I would recognize those coaches that hit it very first in the month. I would recognize coaches that hit it at the very end of the month. I would recognize coaches that hit it on your lucky day of the month. And I would have some fun with it. Everybody loves to be recognized, and I would recognize those coaches that are hitting Success Club 5. I would also take it a step farther. As a new leader on this call, you're pushing to elite, your teams are going to be growing. I'd take it a step farther, and I would also recognize coaches that are growing their base the most. So, for example, if Lisa had a coach that grew her base from maybe, let's just say in March, Her personally sponsored coach only had a base of 1 coach hitting Success Club 5, and then that personally sponsored coach grew that in April to where they had 3 personally sponsored coaches hit Success Club 5. I would recognize that like crazy, because eventually you'll move away from recognizing those that are just consistently hitting 5 to where you'll recognize those that are duplicating this base and growing this base of Success Club 5 coaches. That becomes a really powerful thing in your team. And then I would also, Lauren, I don't want to step on your toes as a leader of this team, but I would challenge everybody on this call to come up with a number. And I would develop a culture where, man, at the beginning of every single month, you guys give Lauren your number. So, for example, what was my base of Success Club 5 coaches in January? How many did I have hit it from the current year or the previous year? What did I grow that base to in February? So if I looked at my coaches in the current year and the previous year, how many of them hit Success Club 5? Did I grow that number over January? Exact same thing for February. So I'd look at January, February, March. It's only April 2nd, and maybe kind of the homework assignment or the challenge leaving this call would be for everybody on this call to say, okay, what was my base in January? What was my base in February? What was my base in March? And again, I'm going to give myself a number for April. And maybe if my number was 3 in March, maybe I can stretch myself just a little bit, and I'm going to give Lauren my number, and it's going to be 5. Lauren, I'm going to work hard throughout the month of April to grow my base of Success Club 5 coaches to 5. And on top of that number, if I give her 5 and I circle that at the top of the page, then I'm also going to list out 8 people that I'm going to be working with throughout the month to help kind of accomplish this goal. But take it a step farther. Again, the recognition, the rewards in this business is one thing, but we're about changing lives. So I would take it a step farther. And all of those 8 people on this list, you've attached a name to it. I would take it a step farther, and I would start to sincere conversations with these people to understand life for them. What are their goals? What is their why for this business? What will success in this business give them? And then I would take it a step farther, and I'd also start to understand pain points. What are their worries and concerns? What are their fears? What are the things that keep them, that stress them out with the family? Whatever it is, I would invest time in having these conversations with all of these 8 coaches on this list. And then I would, as a leader, step in their back pocket and support them throughout the month. Let them know you're going to be following up. Let them know you care. Let them know you're going to help them overcome hurdles. Sometimes it's a start that stops people, and just them knowing that you're going to be calling, knowing that you're invested in their success. That's all it's going to take for them to get started and start to have great success in this business. But this concept, month to month, of growing your base little by little, giving each other a number, having names attached to that number, following up every single week throughout the month with those coaches. Hey, are you at 2? Are you at 3? Are you at 5? And then celebrating that, recognizing that that one activity can be an incredibly powerful thing on the team. And I've watched coaches that started the year with a base of 2 or 3 and going it little by little, developing the right habits on the team, the right culture on the team. They all of a sudden get to December and they look back and they say, wow, I started the year with a base of 2 to 3 and I grew that base clear to 25. And look at how healthy and look at how profitable my business is now because of that. And what happens if you stretch yourself a little bit to grow this base over time, what does that do for you? It gives you great energy on the team because everybody's doing the same activity. Everybody's having some great wins and having a lot of fun with it. It also helps you understand which leaders on your team are really willing to put skin in the game consistently month after month after month. So it helps you know who you should and maybe who you shouldn't be working with. And then you take it a step farther, your upcoming new diamonds, your upcoming new tools, you duplicating yourself and actually developing new elite coaches on your team, it really starts to show itself and also helps you understand which coaches are and which coaches aren't going to be doing that. So in terms of strategy, just with this one category, if that's all you focused on, I promise you would be an elite coach. And if all you focused on was growing your base to 5 and consistently having at least 5 personally sponsored coaches from the current year and the previous year hit Success Club 5, you would be an elite coach. I guarantee you would have the points. I guarantee you would be 5-star diamond or above, and I guarantee you would have at least 2 new diamonds from the current year that hit Success Club 5. So that strategy and just that one little kind of focus in this category can be a powerful thing. Obviously, we can go to the PV category and we can talk strategy. Okay, what do I do with my current year coaches? How do we put together, again, recognition and a little bit of competition and some rewards about producing volume? That's great, but it definitely plays second fiddle to what's taking place with the Success Club 5 base. The interesting thing, if you focus on volume in this business, it's transactional. It's only a one-time thing. But if you focus instead on growing leaders and duplicating leaders and really stretching yourself to grow that base, you start to have these leaders that consistently do the same thing in the business month after month, and you're growing exponentially and you're getting points exponentially. You know, if for a leader that goes out and produces 500 in volume, you get that points basically once. But a coach, you could have the same coaches, you know, same core group of coaches hitting Success Club 5 month after month after month in the business. It's your moneymaker category. You're going to continually get points in that category and see, you know, great results from it. Obviously, you don't want to just stay at 5. I'd challenge you to kind of increase by 1, get to 6, get to 7, get to whatever, 8, 9, 10. Grow that base month after month, baby steps, you know, over time. But it can be, you know, a very, very, very powerful thing. So that's basically elite in a nutshell. Very basic, very simple. We don't want to overcomplicate it. Again, just to review, 3 things that we look at on December 30th. There's 3 things that have to fall into place to be elite. 135 points. You have to be paid 5-star diamond or above, and you have to have 2 new paid diamonds on December 30th to be elite. If you can answer yes to all 3 of those things, congratulations, you're an elite coach. Okay? So moving away from that, there's 3 categories that you can accrue points to get to those 135 points. Listed in order of priority. Number 1 category, the most important category, is your Success Club category. Second most important category, and it is a very distant second, is your PV category. And then the third category is the ATV category. And then in terms of strategy, probably just the single focus on your base, coaches in the current year and the previous year hitting Success Club 5, invest time in them, know their why, know their goals, understand their pain points in life, take the time to sincerely get to know them on a really personal level, and then give them the confidence that you're going to be there. You're going to help them. You're going to support them. You're going to encourage them along the way. You know, I love, you know, a lot of you on this call are in our Flab to Fab group. I've loved the group because I know people are going to be asking me about my fitness. They're going to be asking me about my nutrition. They're going to be asking me about my water, my sleep, whatever it is. I'm pushing myself because I know people are going to be asking me questions to do more in that group than what I would have done otherwise on my own. And you kind of take that fitness nutrition analogy and you drive that into the business. If they know you're going to be asking questions, if they're going to know that you're going to be following up, I promise you, because you're involved and because you're engaged, they're going to stretch themselves to do more than what they would have done otherwise. And then I'll end just real quickly with the sales team. We've got an incredibly talented sales team on the corporate side that's here to support you guys. So as you're working to become an elite coach, as you're developing new leaders in North America, I would encourage you guys to engage with them. They've got big hearts. They care a ton about your success. They want to help. They want to support. So I'd encourage you. Lauren can jump on the wall, or she can jump on the, you know, her region page. In the file section, we've got a JPEG that shows kind of a map of the corporate sales team. Also, we've got we've got a PDF and a JPEG, so however you want to use them, she could share those on the team page, but it will help you know who your corporate contact is. And basically, across the board, diamond and above in North America, you have support that's available to you that you can take advantage of. So basically, the associate managers work with all the new diamonds and the 1-stars. The managers work with the 2-stars through the 5-stars, and then the regional directors, Arnold, Doug, and Kim, work with the 6-stars through the 14-stars. And I would encourage you, if you haven't connected with them, I'd encourage you, reach out, let them know that you are a part of this call. I'd share with them. I'd share with Lauren your Success Club 5 base goal for April. I would share with her what the names of those coaches are that you're going to be working with to help them achieve Success Club 5. I'd share the exact same thing with your corporate contact, and I promise you set yourself up in April where there's just really no excuses to not have the success that you want to have in this business. So, Lauren, I'll go ahead and I'll turn the time back over to you, and if we want to do a 5 to 10 minute Q&A, I'm more than happy to do that too.
Okay, thank you so much. That was awesome. I think everybody's brains are kind of spinning a little bit right now, but I remember that exact feeling was like, wait, that was all like gibberish to me, but it was taking all the notes and remembering everything that was said and then looking over everything. I told everybody to come with their tracker form. So hopefully you guys all had that in front of you and you were able to kind of look at what he was talking about and understand each category. And now, hopefully, you know, when you guys hear me say how important it is for you to be hitting Success Club yourself, for your coaches to be hitting Success Club, and as hard as, you know, we as a team drive volume, now you understand why. You know, it's not just, yes, it grows our businesses, and yes, it grows our paychecks, but we're helping more people, and it's getting us to this goal of elite. So I think, you know, some people were asking, like, you know, so what happens when you go elite? And you know, somebody else said wanted to know, that's why it's important to immediately start building your team. You know, and that's all correct. All of it is true, is that, you know, yes, elite is great for bonuses and recognition and the trips and, you know, all of the fun little, you know, goodies we get and the sneak peeks and being a part of the 5-star diamond and above wall and having all of that information. You guys know that. And, you know, having VIP access to customer service and amazing support from people like Jeremy. Yes, those things are all amazing. But it is exactly what I think, Megan, you said it, is that it's growing your business. It's growing your business faster when you have that focus of this is what I'm going to do. Because if you're doing Success Club, you're shooting for amazing volume, your coaches are going to be doing the same thing. So, you know, you need to really be helping them do exactly that. It's Success Club, it's volume, it's all of the above. So,
Lauren, can I talk about one thing that I forgot about as we were kind of working through this? Okay. So I forgot to tie it back to this elite report that everybody's going to get on April 10th. So let's pretend like Lauren on April 10th, again, 3 categories. She gets an elite email that says, Lauren, you have 150 points so far for elite this year. Okay? Let's pretend like if we looked at her ATV category, and let's pretend like she had 10 points in that category. And let's kind of apply what we've talked about on this call today. If we knew that she had 10 points in that category, then we could take a step back and we could remind ourselves, okay, ATV, I start to accrue points when I've grown my ATV incrementally over last year. And I'm reminded that, okay, also I remember that it's for every 10,000 in volume that I do that, I get 1 point. So we already know if Lauren's already accumulating points in the ATV category, then we already know right off of our right out of the gates, wow, look at how fast her business is growing because she's already January through March done more in terms of ATV than what she did all of last year in 2014. So if she has 10 points in that category, then we know we take 10 points, times it by 10,000, and we know that she has incrementally grown her business so far, January through March, by 100,000 in volume over last year. Okay, so that's, again, just when you get your report, now we can kind of start to talk strategy. We can understand where those points are coming from. So let's pretend like then in the PV category, we see on Megan's report that she had 10 points in, or let's just say 5 points in that category. Okay, so she has 5 points kind of year to date, January through March, in her PV category. Again, we can go back, we can do the math real easily, and we can say, okay, if I have 5 points in that category, for every 500 in volume that I produce, I'm getting 1 point. So if I have 5 points in that category, I take those 5 points, I divide that by 500, And then I know right away that I have, 2,500 in volume that's already been produced by my 2015 coaches. Okay. Again, we can talk strategy. We can understand where those numbers are coming from, and we can start to really influence it as we get these reports on the second Friday of every month. Now let's take it a step farther and let's talk, about the one that's the moneymaker category, the most important category. Let's pretend like Adrienne, in her report that she got on April 10th, again, that report reflects activity from January through the end of March. Let's pretend like in that category, she has 25 points. We'll make it an even number. We'll say 24 points, just so we can divide it. So I know Adrienne, she's gone out. She's consistently hit Success Club 5 herself, right? So she sees 24 in that Success Club category, 24 points. We know Adrienne's gone out, consistently hit Success Club 5 herself. So we're going to take that 24 points and we're going to divide it by 2. And we know that she has 12 people between January and March that have hit Success Club 5. And again, these are coaches from the current year and the previous year. So we can say, hey, we're in the month, or we're into the year, 3 months so far. So I take that 12, I divide it by 3, and Adrienne starts to think, okay, on average, I have a base of 4 coaches consistently hitting Success Club 5. Okay? So again, we started with 24 points in the Success Club category. We divided it by 2 because we know Adrienne's hitting Success Club 5 herself. All right? That gets us down to 12. And then I know that we're January, February, March, 3 months into the year. So I take that 12, the 12 people that have hit, 12 coaches from the current year and the previous year that have hit Success Club 5. I divide that by 3, and I know that Adrienne has a base of 4 on average. And then I can sit down with Adrienne and I can say, okay, Adrienne, can we grow that to 5? Can we grow that to 6 in the month of April? And then I take it a step farther. I'd say, okay, Adrienne, email Lauren or text Lauren or send her a little picture what your Success Club 5 base goal is for April. If that number is 5, she's going to stretch herself to go 1 more than what she's done on average each of the last 3 months. If that number is 5, great. Adrienne's going to list out about 8 people that she's going to be working with on her team, and she's going to connect with them in a way that's real personable, where she's going to know their why, she's going to know their goals, she's going to know their pain points, and she's going to help reward, recognize, and have fun and kind of create this culture on her team around growing your base of Success Club 5 coaches. So, Lauren, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just felt like that would be super important to kind of start to say, okay, when we get this report on the 10th, I can now almost predict what my numbers are going to be, and I can start to influence them in a big-time way where I couldn't have done that before.
Yeah, thank you. No, that is super important. But I wanted to clear something up because I'm not sure if they've changed it from last year, but only diamonds and above get those reports, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, not everybody on this call is a diamond yet, but they're working towards it and are, close. So I just wanted to make sure that they knew not to expect that report unless you're a diamond. So another reason to hurry up and get to diamond. But yeah, so also I think, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but I saw somebody ask it in our chat, was that you do need to be a 5-star diamond and above coach to be an elite coach. It's 2-star diamond and above to be premier, but you do need to be 5-star in order to be an elite coach.
So, and it may be a big jump. For some people on this call, the whole reason why we developed the Premier program is because it's almost impossible in your first year to go all the way from being a brand new coach that's enrolled in 2015 and really pushing yourself to, being an elite coach and being 5-star diamond. So we wanted to have something in place that was very attainable. So if you're a brand new coach in 2015, heck yes, no matter when you enroll, push yourself and become premier. The only difference between elite and premier, it's both elite and premier have the requirement to have 2 new diamonds in the current year. Both elite and premier have the requirement to have 135 plus points. The only difference between elite and premier is that there's no caps for premier where there is caps for elite. So you could get all 135 points out of the Success Club category. And then the second thing that's a little bit different between premier and elite is the 2-star, like Lauren talked about, and the 5-star. But those are really the only differences between premier and elite. It's the same strategy, same approach, and it's a great little benchmark your first year in the business to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to be a premier coach. Heck yes, that's going to be my goal no matter when I enroll. And then the next year I'm going to stretch myself a little bit more and be an elite coach.
Yeah, awesome. And then somebody also asked, and I think I answered this, but I just want to make sure, is that they count everything you do within the year, even before you're a diamond, correct? Or is it just, yeah, I thought so. Okay. Yeah, because somebody was asking when all of the math started and everything. And
January 1st, regardless of where you're at. Yep. Great question.
Yep. Okay. So I think those are the only questions that were posted in the chat, but you guys, we do have just a few more minutes, so don't be shy. No question is a dumb question. This is why we are here, is to make sure. I know how I felt, and I remember I really did not understand elite at all. And even my first year when I was working towards it, Brandy was like, oh, you got points for this. And I'm like, what does that mean? All I know is that she told me to work on, getting my volume up and trying to double, triple my volume every single month, and to make sure that I had 5 to 10 of my personally sponsored coaches hitting Success Club every single month. That was my focus. I didn't focus on all the other stuff, but I wish that I had understood it a little bit better. Now I do, and I want to make sure that you guys understand it too, so that you can help yourselves and help your coaches that are working on hitting Premier and Elite as well. So please speak up and ask Jeremy questions, while he's here and we have him. So go ahead and ask if you guys have anything for him.
It looks like too, Lauren, that there were a couple questions on the chat about the recognition and rewards. And all you guys, just a quick way to get all that information accessed at your fingertips. Just go to FAQ 2015, and once you pull that up, you'll know all of the benefits and recognition that's available to you for being an elite coach.
Are you asking me a question? Sorry.
Oh, no. I was saying that's a way they can get their questions answered.
Okay. Somebody asked, what is the most successful way for your opinion on what's the most successful way to help your coaches hit Success Club?
Kind of like what I just talked about. It's a great question. It's one thing to enroll a coach. It's an entirely different thing to take ownership and responsibility for their success. So obviously, if a coach isn't willing to match your energy and effort and put a little skin in the game, you can't want it more. You can't want their success more for them than they want it for themselves. And there will be those situations where there'll be a little bit of a gap where you're giving into the relationship and into their success here, and they're only giving here. If that's the case and there's not a balance, that gap is unhealthy, and you can't control that. But if the coach is willing to match your energy and effort, you have the responsibility to really dive into their life. And I think the best way to help them set up to be successful in this business is consistently hit Success Club 5. And how does that happen? It literally takes you having a heart-to-heart conversation with them, understanding their why, meaning what would success in this business do for them? How would that change life? How would that change their family's dynamic? Understanding their goals. What do they want to make in terms of income? What do they want to make in terms of, rank? Whatever it is. What do they want to do in terms of weight loss? In terms of feeling better, in terms of eating healthier, whatever it is, understand kind of what their goals are, and then take it a step farther and get a little emotional with them and understand, okay, what keeps you up at night? What stresses you out? What makes life feel like it's a little bit burdened? And as you start to understand those things, boy, your ability to step in and say, okay, I can provide hope. I can provide value. I can increase your vision and give you things in life that you currently don't have right now. That's an incredibly rewarding process to work through with somebody. And those experiences and those memories that are created never fade and never go away.
Yeah, true. Do that. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Can I end this call talking about you, Lauren?
Sure.
So you guys are obviously, we just talked about Lauren advancing to 6-star diamond, but I've obviously have a great relationship with Lauren. I think she's an incredible person. She's got a huge heart. She cares a ton about you guys, and I think it's important for you guys to realize how lucky you are to be on her team and to have her as a leader to kind of look to. And you guys to, again, take this challenge to heart that I gave you. I would share with her your goals for April in terms of your number. I'd share with her the coaches that you're going to be working with kind of by name. I'd include her in the process, and I promise you, with her leadership and with her heart, your ability to have success and accomplish your goals, especially in the month of April, creating the right habits in the month of April, and then continuing those habits over time with her kind of in your back pocket and partnering with you significantly increase. I have a tender spot in my heart for her and who she is as a person, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to be on this call and spend some time with you.
Thank you. You know I love you. Yeah, and I said it before, I don't know if you guys know this, but Jeremy doesn't have to take his time out for me or for us at all, but he does it for us, and that's super awesome and special, and I get all emotional. So thank you so much for taking time out of your night to help us, and I hope that you guys really take everything that he said to heart, and that you set some pretty heavy goals for yourself. Goals are supposed to be scary. They're supposed to feel impossible, but nothing's impossible. If you guys put your mind to it and you really work on doing this, and we all partner up and push each other, we can do this. And every single one of you has the ability to be an elite coach. Even if you're just sitting at coach right now, you're not even an emerald coach. I think everybody on here is an emerald coach at least, but even if you're sitting at just coach, you can do this. This time last year, like I said, I'm not even sure if I was a diamond yet. I think I was still an emerald coach. And I just worked really hard on doing exactly what, Jeremy said, just getting people to caring about other people and getting people to do things with me. Angela Laraco was one of those people who started this out with me. Veronica Carr was another one who started with me. And it was really just us being there for one another and helping each other through it and caring about each other's lives, and not just in a business sense, but helping each other succeed, matching each other's successes, and going at it together. And that's what you need to do, is partner with your team. Make your team have that team camaraderie, that team feeling. We have it as FitForce, but make sure that you have it within your each individual coaches. Even if you just have 2 coaches, make sure that those 2 coaches know how important they are for you and to your team, and just work together to make this happen. So like Jeremy said, I think we had talked about one of the things that he wants I'm going to do is, and what I'm going to ask from you all is that if you are really pushing for this elite goal, I will mentor you. You filled out that application for a reason, but you're going to have to earn it. This isn't just like a freebie. I'm going to put you in a group and then you can show up when you want. This is something that if we're going to put time and effort into you, then you need to give us that matched energy and effort. And so I'm going to ask that every month you're sending me that tracker form, and you're doing exactly what Jeremy said, is sending in those numbers. Tell me how many you want at the beginning of the month, and at the end of the month, we want to see that you hit that. And I'm going to send those numbers to Jeremy and show him that the people that are here on this call and the people that are really going for elite are working for it and going for it. And, so both of us are going to, work to help you guys hit elite and to help me hit elite. And, so I want this for you guys so bad. You have to want it for yourself though. And you have to believe that you can do it. Belief in yourself is so, so, so important. And, I believe you can. Jeremy believes you can, but I want you guys to believe that you can too. And don't be scared off by anything that you heard tonight. You guys can do it. You really can. So that's it. And I just want to say thank you so much, Jeremy, for taking time out again to be here with us. We really appreciate it.
All right, you guys. It doesn't look like we put anybody to sleep. So maybe we did all right. But you guys have a great night. Thanks so much for your time, and look forward to kind of sharing your guys' success as we progress throughout the year. And if you're going to be in Cancun, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right. Bye, everybody.